Hey.
Greetings.
So I'm confused. What happened here? Because I saw a situation with the UFC where the UFC and the people that were suing them for this antitrust thing for whatever it was for maybe running them out of business, they were in a lawsuit. Then they came together and they agreed to a fee of like $330 million. Both the people doing the lawsuit and I believe the UFC. They say, yeah, we'll come to an agreement. Cool. They got to get to court. They go to the judge, hey, we figured it out. We don't want to do this anymore. We're all good. We're good. $330 million. Judge says, this is going trial. That ain't enough. Over both sides, even the people that are doing the entire thing. Now we go on the complete opposite end of the spectrum where it is, how is that even possible in that first one? I have no idea how that's even possible if that's the person doing the thing and the thing, and then I have no idea. Yeah. But then this one too, it's like, I don't know how this is even possible either, and it's both ends of the spectrum. With the NFL one, they allegedly owed $14.8 billion out, and then all of a sudden the judge says, actually, I don't think that's the case. Is that what's happening? I don't understand how this works if this is the case. I genuinely have no idea how any of this type of shit works, which is why we have you on, sir.
Well, first of all, I want to say hello because as we learned this week, interviews can go off the rails quickly if someone doesn't say hello right out of the gate.
All right, yeah, you're right. And I did say hello, though. Yeah,
I'm glad to see we're all wearing black. It reminds me of the excellent line from the Johnny Cash movie Walk the Line when somebody says to him, what's with all the black? It looks like you're going to a funeral. And he says, maybe I am, which is just awesome.
No, I'm going to a celebration.
Here's what happened. And here's what happened on the UFC deal. When you have a settlement of a class action, a judge always has to approve it. I dealt with those. I lived those. A judge has to approve it because, the lawyers could just be looking for a quick score because they get a third or up to 40% of whatever the settlement is, and then all the members of the class get peanuts. The judge has to be sure it's fair. The members of the class have a chance to come in and say it's fair or it's not fair. So that's a normal step in the process, and this judge decided it's not good enough. In this case, here's what happened.
That sounds like bullshit.
The jury found that Sunday Ticket, as it's currently packaged and sold, is an antitrust violation. And the judge said there's more than enough evidence in the record to support that finding. So, plain and simple, Sunday Ticket, as it's currently constituted and as it's been for 30 years, violates antitrust law. The problem is setting damages. And what you have to do, because we know what the real world is with an antitrust violation, it's what everybody had to pay for Sunday Ticket. So you got to construct this fake hypothetical world where we figure out what would have been paid for Sunday Ticket but for the antitrust violation. And that's almost impossible to do. So the plaintiffs put that forward with expert witnesses that the judge decided were competent enough to testify at trial. He's the gatekeeper for these witnesses. And everybody knows ahead of time what they're going to say. And he let them do it. And then after the verdict, he says, oh, sorry, they're not good enough. I mean, what the hell? Kick them out before the trial and say, you better find somebody else or you got no case. He waited until after the trial, after the verdict, and he said, I never should have let these guys testify, which is really a crock of shit if you're any of the plaintiffs. And I mean, that's a legal term. I'm sorry. If you're any of the plaintiffs in this case, like, what the hell?
Crock of shit does sound like a legal term, just like the entire.
Sunday Ticket violates antitrust law. But we got no damages because the judge won't accept the evidence on what the world would look like if there wasn't an antitrust violation. That's it in a nutshell.
Okay, fascinating. I appreciate you wrapping that up in perfect timing. Have an incredible weekend. SummerSlam's tomorrow, so is the Hall of Fame. Enjoy it all. Cheers. Right on, Screws. So whenever you're talking, right on, okay? We're talking antitrust laws. We're in there. Mm-hmm. We're dancing.
Yep.
And then, right on the screws.
Boom.
Couldn't have been more, I don't think. If this clock is lined up perfectly, it should be pretty good. I felt pretty good there. So whenever you say, everybody knows what's going to be said, he has to approve what's going to be said, and then afterwards says he shouldn't have it there. So what's trial for? I don't. So if everybody
the jury can hear it,
yeah.
I guess.
Then the judge knew what was going to be said. It was said. It convinced the jury, but then the judge said, after hearing it out loud instead of typed down, I don't think that's real. How does this not on this particular case, but how these things happen in your world, because you said you were there. Judges just have the ultimate, they can do whatever they want, whenever they want, and how, is that how this goes?
Well, pretty much. Federal judges can't get fired. They have jobs for life. Now, they can have their rulings overturned on appeal, and that could happen here. The reality, though, is, I think in this case, the judge decided, we'll just let the jury figure this out. Maybe the jury will reject this. Maybe the jury will come back with 0 or a verdict for the NFL, then I don't have to do anything. So he let the case play out. He wasted everyone's time for a month, tons of money that both sides had to spend. And now, after the verdict, he throws the whole thing out. And it's not even a new trial. It's not even a mulligan. I mean, at a minimum, let the plaintiffs go back and try to prove damages again in a fresh trial. He slammed the door on all of it. And now their only recourse is to appeal to the Federal Appeals Court for the Ninth Circuit, and that'll take a couple of years, and we'll figure out what they have to say, and it's a roll of the dice as to who the judges even are when we get to that level.
Okay, so obviously you'll keep an ear to the ground on all of that and inform us. We appreciate that. Does that mean Jerry Jones is going to spend money now? Right?
Corner chicken.
Wasn't that
Yeah.
I read that.
He'll find another reason not to.
Oh, geez, Florio.
Florio.
Jeez Louise. Hey,
I don't understand it, because they always end up paying anyway. Why don't they just go ahead and pay? Like, if you pay CD Lamb before Justin Jefferson gets paid, you're going to pay him less. You wait until after Justin Jefferson gets paid, you're going to pay him more. You pay Dak before all these other guys get paid, you're going to pay him less. Now, as it stands, you're going to pay him more. They always wait, and it always blows up in their face.
Well, it happened with Dak in his last contract. The way it ended up being a lot more than what it could have been. I mean, this is just seemingly the Dak Prescott Dallas Cowboys story. But we just talked to Troy. Troy Aikman thinks that there's a chance Dak's playing for another team. And Dak has even mentioned, like, yeah, I've seen and thought about the days of playing for another team. It's a crazy time in the NFL.